Hey, how's it going, fight fans? Welcome to mindforcombat. If you're new to the channel, my name is Rohan. It's my platform where I do fight sports related content. If you're new here, why don't you help me grow my platform? All you have to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and maybe hit that bell icon so you get notified every time I upload a video. With that said, this is a very interesting fight coming up in the heavyweight division, and one that I'm very excited to watch and most certainly break down. What's interesting about this fight coming into it is that Francis Ngannou, in a lot of ways, has been shortchanged by the events of Stipe Miocic and Daniel Cormier too. Because of the way things played out in that fight, now a trilogy is going to happen. And Francis Ngannou, who is most certainly the top contender in the division, has to wait for his opportunity to get his next fight at the belt. Whether that be a rematch with Stipe or fight for the vacant belt if Daniel Cormier wins and decides to vacate it. In the meantime, someone done the unthinkable. That's Jairzinho Rozenstruik. He called out Francis Ngannou after his win over Alistair Overeem. Now, what's interesting about Jairzinho is that although he's only had 10 fights in the world of mixed martial arts, he's actually a very, very accomplished and experienced kickboxer. He's had over 70 or 80 professional kickboxing fights. He was a very decorated talent over in the world of kickboxing, and his transition to mixed martial arts has been a very, very interesting one. He's gone 10-0 now, and taken out Alistair Overeem, which was most certainly the biggest win of his career, puts him in a very interesting position to perform going forward, and I'm very excited to see how he does going forward. When we're looking at this fight, there's a couple of key takeaways. So the winner of this is probably going to be in line for a title shot. If it's Ngannou, most certainly. If it's Rozenstruik, well then the winner of Volkov and Curtis Blades, certainly if it's Curtis Blades, may be able to jump Rozenstruik if they get the win. But still, there is high profile stakes on the line in this fight, and to break this down, let's go through the tape. Now, both these guys for heavyweights are very, very young. Francis Ngannou is 33 years old, and that's especially young considering he doesn't have much mileage on him, no real wear and tear. He didn't even start training in MMA until he was about 25, 26 years old, so, that means he's his body's not taking the damage that, a long-term veteran fighter would have taken by the time he was 33. He's still very fresh, he's still very young, and still learning the game. Jairzinho is only 31 and he's fresh to MMA, although he has had a lot of kickboxing fights, but he still looks fresh. Spring, he's learning, you can tell he's evolving, and he's really enjoying this challenge of taking on board a new skill set. Francis Ngannou has a professional mixed martial arts record of 14 wins and 3 losses. And Rozenstruik has a professional mixed martial arts record of 10 wins and 0 losses. Now, there's a bit of a discrepancy in terms of experience there, particularly when you consider that Francis Ngannou's been in there with Stipe, with Kane, with Junior Dos Santos, Alistair Overeem himself. He's been in there, he's fought for world titles, he's lost fights, he's had to rebuild. He's at a very different stage in his mixed martial arts journey than Jairzinho is, and it's going to be very interesting to see if he's able to leverage that. The height is interesting as well, because Francis Ngannou stands at 6'4". That makes him 2 inches taller than the 6'2" Jairzinho Rozenstruik. How's he going to utilise that? Considering this, in my opinion, is going to be a striking fight, I'm very interested to see how it goes. The biggest difference, however, is that Francis Ngannou is going to enjoy a 5-inch reach advantage with an 83-inch reach, and Jairzinho Rozenstruik only has a 78-inch reach. That 5 inches in a striking fight, particularly for Ngannou, who likes to utilise his boxing, is going to be very, very interesting. Now, they're both strikers to describe their styles. That's very obvious, but the key wins is another key factor. It's kind of what I was touching on earlier with the experience. Jairzinho Rozenstruik, his key wins are Andre Arlovski and Alistair Overeem. Let's just round it out with Alistair Overeem. And for Francis Ngannou, well, he's also beaten Alistair Overeem, but he's taken out Junior Dos Santos, Cain Velasquez, Curtis Blades, not once but twice. He's got some really good wins on his ledger, and most certainly is a top contender in the division. The issues coming into this fight for Francis Ngannou is going to be his wrestling, but that's not really going to be an issue that plays out in this one. Actually, what's going to be a bigger issue in this fight is his predictability. He's going to want to come out and strike, and he's going to be in there with a guy who's had 70, 80 professional kickboxing fights. How's Jairzinho Rozenstruik going to use that to his advantage? Is he going to use that to his advantage? Right? In terms of issues for Jairzinho Rozenstruik, well, the biggest issue for him is going to be his experience. How is he going to be able to deal with the experience deficit that Francis Ngannou has and enjoys over him in this fight? The X factor for Francis Ngannou, as always, is his power, and the X factor for Jairzinho Rozenstruik in this fight is going to be his polished striking. He's an experienced striker. Like I keep saying, he's had 80 professional kickboxing fights. That's a lot of fights. That's a big deal, guys. Let's get into my prediction. This is a very, very hard fight to predict, and why it's hard to me is because in MMA, in a pure stand-up fight, I would pick Francis Ngannou over everyone. Well, just about everyone. The only caveat to that being someone like Jairzinho Rozenstruik, who is an experienced striker. If they was fighting in a kickboxing fight, in a kickboxing ring, and Jairzinho came into the fight with an 80 fight record, fighting Francis Ngannou, who would be effectively making his debut in kickboxing, well, that would be considered a mismatch. Why is that not the same in this fight, considering they're going to be striking? The difference is it's being fought in an MMA fight, and the 4-ounce gloves will make a difference. Also, Francis Ngannou is more familiar with the MMA cage, and he knows how to, get those shots in with those MMA gloves. And the biggest difference, in my opinion, is going to be the experience that he's had going into the later rounds, being completely exhausted, being tired, being drained, being beaten up, having a tough fights with Stipe Miocic, the fights that he lost. That's going to make a big deal. Sorry about the sirens in the background, guys. This is South London. Shit happens. Yeah. But with that said, anyways, getting back to the fight breakdown, it's going to be very interesting to see how this fight plays out. And I see this fight going one of two ways. Either it becomes a pure kickboxing fight and Jairzinho Rozenstruik not completely dominates, but he will win a kickboxing fight. Or this becomes a mixed martial arts fight where Francis Ngannou is able to clinch up, put him against the cage, rough him up, try and drag him down, utilize his experience, fight smart. Is he going to fight intelligently? Then he wins. If he can land them shots, then he will win. Francis Ngannou can win this fight. And actually, for my official predictions, I am going with Francis Ngannou because I believe he is evolving in his game. I believe he's going to come out there, he's going to clinch, he's going to push Jairzinho against the cage, he's going to rough him up, and I believe that he may even go for a takedown. If this becomes a pure kickboxing fight, I reckon Francis Ngannou will lose, but I don't assume that that's what's going on. So fight fans, for my official prediction, I'm going with Francis Ngannou. Anyways, with that said, no confidence in this pick, and that's been happening quite a lot lately. It's a very, very tough fight to pick, and a win for Jairzinho Rozenstruik wouldn't surprise me, particularly if this plays out as a kickboxing fight. I'll be very interested to know you guys' picks in the comment section below. So comment below, let me know what you guys thought about the breakdown. Let me know how you guys see this fight, guys. Let me know if you're excited about it as I am. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys. If you're new to this channel, like, subscribe, share this video, all that jazz. As always, I'm Rohan, and this is Mindful Combat.